Hi, Dean Myers from VisWorld here, reporting from CES 2014 in Las Vegas about the Internet of Things. In this segment, I spoke with Raskin, the founder of Living in Digital Times and a producer of numerous conferences and events focusing on lifestyle applications for emerging technologies. I thought I would get a personal view on what all the new technology that's surrounding us, from house monitoring to wearables, can mean for the individual. And here's what Robin had to say.
I sent you a little sort of pre-message that the people who I hope are looking and reading and following along with VisWorld are visual thinkers. And I hope that sparked your imagination.
Oh, it did. And walking around the show floor, all you see is visual thinking come to life. I think if anything resonates in the show, it's design, user interface, and it's almost like we're at the Lego stage of technology. The innovation, a lot of it's been done. Sensors, Bluetooth. It's now how do you package them to make new things?
Right. Well, that's an interesting perspective. I wouldn't think of it as a Lego stage, but yes, absolutely.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a few new technologies, mostly in materials like flexible, bendable things and polymers, but for the most part, what you're seeing here that's staggeringly great are sensors, and they've been around for a long time.
Yeah.
They're just more and more accurate. Bluetooth, which is wireless communications point to point, so now your sensors can talk to something. The cloud, which stores the data.
Right.
And mobile devices, and you put those together, and you're just seeing one thing. We have seen dog fitness trackers, baby fitness trackers, thinking measurers, to measure your thinking, to measure your sunscreen level. I mean, it's sort of like, it's all the same building blocks rearranged differently.
That's an interesting point. I actually spent a lot of time this morning in the Z-Wave section because that fascinated me because of both the visual component and also the techie data head side of me. It was like, wow, we can really control the front door and see who's coming in from all of that. And
you can, until the front door controls you, which is probably next. So it's funny, as I use, and the big buzzword at the show here is Internet of Things. And
yes.
And so what that means is, it used to be you and your PC, and now that you can go mobile and into the cloud and sensors, you can control everything from the lock on your door to your oven to your... So literally in my home right now, as I check this stuff out, things are beeping, booping, and squeaking at me all day long, and mostly wearing down a lot of batteries. And so there's going to be like a universal remote for all your Internet of Things, I'm sure, and it's going to be just as hard to use as the remotes we had to do with our entertainment things. So this is all a progression, but how great. My own mother is in her 80s, and I bought something called Lively. It's a single sort of base sensor with 8 sensors. One checks the bathroom, one checks the refrigerator. She hated the idea, but I said, Mom, let's just try it. So anyhow, I get alerted if she has not taken her medicine, if she has gone to the bathroom too many times or not shown up there for 3 days. And so I get alerted on my cell phone. Plus, I can set it up so that her doctor can be alerted with medical information. It's awesome.
It's a long way from I've fallen down and I can't get up.
Yeah, and she can free to roam anywhere. And actually, it knows when she leaves the house because her key with the tag on it separates from the unit. So, it's. I think it's going to give, for I call them the silver market, but the boomers, a way to enjoy life longer, better, with a higher quality as those issues creep up. I lost my glasses, I lost my keys, I can't get in my house. I'm driving and maybe I need a little extra warning. These are all things we're solving now. It's kind of incredible.
It's really tremendous. I didn't get over to check out educational things. Did you? Can you give me the scoop on that? What did you find?
Yeah, well, education is really interesting. So, I don't have to tell you about the political climate right now. College costs way too much. Loans are ridiculously expensive, and we're not giving kids the right skills for the right jobs. So the way technology fits into that is a couple of ways. One is with ebooks, replacing physical books. So, like, I don't know about you, but I learned Russia, and then it turned into 7,000 other states, and the books were always out of date, and people were taking over Africa, forget about it. So you're getting up-to-date books that really talk to kids at a lower price, and maybe not the whole book. Maybe the teacher just wants a chapter or a chapter here, and maybe the teacher wants to make their own book. So ebooks are going to drive a lot of this. MOOCs, massively online curriculum. They've had some false starts and some bad press, and they've done a lot of soul-searching and mea culpaing, but the idea is that any professor anywhere, the best professor in the world, can give a course that's scalable to hundreds of thousands of people, and those people who finish it can get some sort of lifelong credit towards something. So the thing I think that we've learned is you don't stop learning, and maybe you went to school and you learned C++, but now you got to learn HTML5 or whatever else, and the only way you're going to learn it are on these courses. And so online courses are going to totally change things. Whiteboards, collaboration, a Gorilla Glass. Teachers are getting used to, we have a little device here called Swivel. It follows, your iPad actually can track your movements, so a teacher can do a vlog and then put it out to students immediately because it follows them wherever they move around the room.
That's terrific advice. Was there anything that's on your, I have to have this because I've never seen it before and it's going to change my life? And I don't mean an 84-inch 4K TV. That's.
I know. I call those divorce makers in my home. They are. But I gotta say, the fitness trackers are a bit of a quandary. It's like, how much do you want to know about yourself? Like, I know I'm not a good sleeper, but I'm really excited to try some of the sleep tracking stuff that's built into the new Fit Force and the new Nike Fuel Band. And there's a company here called M-Wave that makes a stress reducer. And I actually it's called Heart Math, and I really like it. There's another company called Interaxon. They do something called Muse. It's a band that you put on your head, and it measures your level of alpha waves, which means it measures your level of engagement or disengagement from the world. And so imagine students like using this and seeing imagine the teacher has to know that they're interesting or not. So all these things are like way cool. I've put things on my hands to check my blood oxygen level. I have checked my muscle impedance. How much you want to know is going to be a very personal thing. I would say don't get too hysterical about this, but knowing stuff about your body, you may think you walk 4,000 steps a day, but you may only be doing 1,000. And so that awareness, I hope, translates to actually changing behaviors.
That's terrific. Just a little bit of a trick question. Are you a doodler or a scrawler or a putter things? Are you a kinesthetic kind of person when you solve problems, or?
I am not. And I'm actually embarrassed to say that because I try and get better at it. So I married an engineer. I am a word person.
Okay.
I think in words. I write. That's my favorite pastime. But when I saw what he was doing and building and making, I was so jealous. So I have done things like take the Khan Academy classes, go to the maker shops and work with 3D printing. But I'm really bad at it. But I keep trying because I do think there are these two halves of your brain. So my preferential medium is the spoken or written word.
Okay.
But I'm trying to get better. I paint, I do stained glass. I will do anything that sort of rounds out that other side of myself that I'm not too good at.
Okay, well, I applaud that, and I'd love to help you do that.
And women, I think, in general, I hate to be a stereotypical, but women are good communicators.
Yes.
But somewhere around, and I'll tell you where, geometry, they lose that spatial visualization. Like, I just remember, not understanding the triangle, and all the boys in the class did. And I don't know, I've seen things, there's a woman in New York running a company called Little Bits, where you make things for girls. I mean, you make jewelry, you make fashion. I think in part, women needed a narrative around thinking visually that they didn't get, and you're starting to see that. Goldilocks is another one. So anybody with kids out there, I would urge the girls and the boys, play video games. It helps you think visually and spatially. It helps you map the world. And those are really 21st century skills.
That's absolutely, yeah. You've made a pitch for me to keep working on keeping VisWorld going, so I appreciate it.
What you're doing is so important, not just for kids, but as you get older, and your brain dulls a little bit, the more you can keep thinking visually and learning new things. And if you look historically, and you're probably better at this than me, but we wrote on caves, and then we developed various forms of language, and we are really going back quickly to a visual language. There's a lot of information thrown at us, and word charts and all those flow diagrams are just so critically important.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time.
You got it.